I still remember the day like it was branded into my memory. It was my final year of high school, and like most kids, I was full of big dreams. I wanted to do something meaningful with my life, something that would prove I was more than just another kid from a small, overlooked town. But not everyone believed in me. In fact, one person went out of her way to tear those dreams down, my teacher, Mrs. Clark. She wasn't just any teacher. She was the one everyone feared, not because she was strict, but because she had a way of cutting straight to your weaknesses and exposing them for everyone to see. Some teachers inspired. Mrs. Clark humiliated. It happened during one of those dreaded career day sessions. One by one, my classmates stood up and shared their dreams: doctors, engineers, lawyers. When it was my turn, I stood proudly and said, "I want to build my own company one day. I don't know exactly what it'll be yet, but I want to create something that matters." The class chuckled a little. "But Mrs. Clark?" She laughed. Out loud. The kind of laugh that isn't just dismissive, it's designed to crush you. She leaned back in her chair, folded her arms, and said, "You? Start a company? You can barely pass your math tests. You'll be lucky if you don't end up flipping burgers. Someone has to do it, and I guess it'll be you." The room went silent. My face burned red, my hands shook, and my classmates' smirk seared into me like scars. I tried to defend myself. "I'm serious," I said quietly. "I really believe I can do it." But Mrs. Clark cut me off. Belief doesn't pay the bills. And frankly, some people are meant to dream, while others are meant to wake up and face reality. You'd be wise to stick to reality, young man. That was it. The moment that stuck in my head for years. The moment that fueled me every single day. Because here's the thing, when someone tells you you'll never make it, you either believe them, or you decide to prove them wrong. And I wasn't about to let Mrs. Clark be right. When I finally walked out of high school for the last time, I told myself that Mrs. Clark's words wouldn't define me. But the truth? They haunted me. Every rejection letter. Every failed attempt. Every time I looked at my empty wallet, her voice echoed in my head. "You'll be lucky if you don't end up flipping burgers." And guess what? For a while, that's exactly what I did. I worked late nights at a fast food joint, smelling like grease and burnt fries, all while serving classmates who used to laugh at me. Some of them were in college, posting perfect pictures of their new lives online while I was wiping down tables. It was humiliating. And yet, it was fuel. Because while I was working those long shifts, I was also saving. Every spare dollar. Every tip. Every single cent I could scrape together. During the day, I buried myself in books I bought secondhand or borrowed from the library. Entrepreneurship. Business strategy. Marketing. Finance. Everything Mrs. Clark said I was too dumb to ever understand, those books became my lifeline. But nothing clicked at first. I tried idea after idea, selling used electronics, designing cheap t-shirts, even doing odd repair jobs. Each attempt failed. And every time, her voice grew louder. "You'll never make it." But here's what I didn't know back then: failure wasn't a dead end. It was training. Every mistake taught me something the classroom never could. Still, I can't lie. There were nights I cried myself to sleep. Nights I thought maybe Mrs. Clark was right. Maybe I was just a dreamer. But deep down, I refused to quit. I couldn't. One night, after another brutal shift, I sat alone in my tiny rented room. My hands ached from work, my back was stiff, and I opened my notebook where I scribbled all my half-baked business ideas. Page after page of failure stared back at me. But instead of throwing it away, I made a promise to myself. I said out loud, "One day I'll build something real. One day I'll prove them all wrong." I didn't know how. I didn't know when. But I knew I wasn't done. And that promise, that stubborn refusal to quit, was what carried me into the next chapter of my life. Because the struggle was about to turn into something else, something bigger. The kind of turning point that changes everything. The ceremony began, and just as I was about to walk down the aisle, I noticed the whispers. The stares. And then I saw her, my sister, standing there in a white gown, escorted proudly by my parents as if she were the bride. For a moment, I froze. They actually thought they could erase me. That they could hand over my life, my future, my happiness, to her. But what they didn't know was that I had been planning for this moment for months. Instead of falling apart, I raised my hand. The music stopped. And one by one, my friends, my real family, the people who had stood by me through everything, stepped forward. Together, we revealed the truth. The guests gasped. The groom turned, horrified at my parents' deception. And then I spoke the words I had been holding back. This wedding isn't about control. It isn't about replacing me. It's about love, mine, not yours to steal. The crowd erupted in support. My sister's face burned red. My parents stood there, humiliated, unable to say a word. And at that moment, I walked proudly down the aisle, not with their blessing, but with my own strength. Their plan had backfired, and I had one.